When you want to make some art, where do you start? Grab a crayon or a paintbrush. Take your time and don't rush. Sit on down with a little mouse click. It's time for Brushstrokes with Mrs. Broderick.
Hi friends! Welcome back to another episode of Brushstrokes with Mrs. Broderick. Today we're going to be working on a project that has to do with symmetry. So before we get started, we're going to take a look at some images that will help you understand what symmetry is, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it.
Symmetry exists all around us. We can see it in nature, in our homes, and in our artwork. In mathematics, symmetry is defined as the quality of being made up of exactly similar parts facing each other or around an axis. Symmetry can also be explained as being harmonious and beautifully proportioned and in balance in artwork. Take a moment to see if you can find symmetry in your home.
Okay, now that you have a better idea of what symmetry is, we're going to get started on our project for today. What we're going to be making is symmetrical monsters, but we're going to do it in a very unique and creative way. So get all of your materials together and let's get started. Okay, here are the supplies you're going to need for today. A white piece of paper, a Sharpie, a pencil, paintbrushes, a cup of water, and some watercolors. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I want you to take your white piece of paper and I want you to fold it in half lengthwise, just like this. So line up the edges and the side and fold it and give it a nice good crease right in the center. Now, I have already written my name out in cursive just so that I'm going to go over it with a Sharpie so that way you'll be able to see it better. But I have done mine in cursive. If you don't know cursive, that's okay. You can just write your name how you would usually write it, okay? So if you open your paper up, you're going to see that crease line that you've created. Fold it back over, and where the crease line is where you're going to write your name, okay? I'm doing mine in Sharpie, but I want you to do yours in pencil first. So what you're going to do, and take your time with this. If you want to do a couple of warm-ups first so that you are really happy with what your name looks like, go for that. All right, so I'm going to start just by going over my name in Sharpie. And like I said, if you don't know how to write your name in cursive, that's okay. You could do it just in block letters or however you write your name regularly. Just as long as you are able to write your name on the page. You could even think of some fun, crazy fonts to do if you wanted to. Now I'm writing Mrs. Broderick, but you can write your first name. You could write your first and your last name. It is up to you. Because I think the more lines and letters you have, the more interesting this is going to be. Okay, so you can see when I open it up, you can see Mrs. Broderick right here. Okay, so you're going to fold it over like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your Sharpie, the top of your Sharpie. Make sure the cap is on. You want the cap on. And you're going to start to trace over these letters. You're going to push down really, really hard. The harder you push down, the better you're going to be able to see the indent it makes on the other part of the white page. Okay? So let's get started with that. Remember, push down as hard as you can. You may even want to go over this a second time once you've done it the first time. And really take your time. Try to get every little line correct because we're trying to make it as symmetrical as possible, right? So, did some of you go around and look at your house to find symmetrical objects? If you haven't yet, I would encourage you to do that and see what you can find. You could even go outside and see what you could find. You could find things in nature and then make something symmetrical. Okay, so I have got that done, and I can see it on the other side of the page. You're gonna have to look really, really closely and take your time. So what I might do with this is I'm actually just going to do it in pencil first. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm looking really closely to find that indented line. Take your time, don't rush through this part. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is gonna be a little tricky, but I am confident that you can do it. There it is. Remember, we're trying to make it as symmetrical as we can. If it's not perfect, that's okay. Ooh. This C is a little tricky to find, but I think I have got it. Okay, so I've done it in pencil. Now let's quickly go over this, all of your pencil lines with the Sharpie. Now you can see the symmetry that is happening just with the writing that you did. And it's starting to look pretty interesting, even though all we have right now are black lines. Because once we flip it over, you're going to find that you're not even going to be able to tell that it's your name. And we're going to disguise it even further. Okay, so if you flip it like this, look at how cool this looks. And you can tell it's symmetrical because if I was to fold it in half like this, all of those lines would match up. All right? So you have to decide which side you like which top part you like better. We're going to turn these into monsters. So do you want this part of your name to be the eyes and the head? Do you want this part of your name to be the feet? Or do you want to flip it? Okay? So decide what you want to do, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to go this way. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to transform and add elements that make it look like a monster. So I'm going to do kind of an eyeball up here. Maybe I fill that in. And I'm going to do it in pencil first. Maybe I want to do some giant eyelashes. You can add lines in it. See how I did that? Maybe this will be its kind of nose. I can add a couple nostrils there. Now, all of these little spaces that I've created, I can add color to. I can also add other elements coming off of it. So maybe off of here, I want to add kind of a big hand that fits in there. Maybe with this, I'm going to extend this, make another big shape. These don't have to make any sense either. The idea is that you're using your knowledge of symmetry to create something visually interesting. Now this to me reminds me of feet. So I'm going to just extend this part down and maybe I'll give it some toenails here. We'll keep that one the same. And I'm just going to add some fun shapes coming off of some of these spots. Maybe do another one up here. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over these with my Sharpie just so that I can see them better. And then you'll start to see your monster kind of come to life. Really take your time with this part. Think about the elements of a monster that you want to add. This is your opportunity to be super creative and add a little bit of personality to your monster. Almost done with one side. Okay, so I've got this side done. Now I need to transfer what I've done on this side to the other side. So I'm going to do the same process that we did with your name. Okay, use that Sharpie again. Make sure the cap is on. Push down really, really hard. Try not to miss any of the little extras that you added. If you do, that's okay. You can just go back later and do the same process again and add them on there. My big hand. Now the next step is we are going to add some color. And we want to make these super colorful and bright and fun and vibrant. Okay. Almost done. All right. Now, just like we did before, you may want to use your pencil to start. Just go in, add those lines on there. Try to make it as symmetrical as possible. Remember, the harder you push down, the easier it is to see it. Okay. Almost done, and then we can get to the fun part of painting. Okay, so on this side, just really quickly, go over those new lines with your Sharpie. I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with, because everybody's is going to look completely different. You all have different names. You all have different ideas. I can't wait. These are going to be so much fun. Okay, I have my symmetrical monster all finished and ready to paint. So get your watercolors ready and you can just start to fill in all of these little spaces. You can fill in the spaces here and paint the background if you want to. If you want to leave the background white, that's up to you. This is your chance to just add some color to this and make it even more interesting than it already is. So let's get painting. All right, we are using watercolors. So remember, if you want your colors to be darker, you're going to use a little bit less water. If you want them to be lighter, you're going to add more water. And whatever you do on one side, you want to do on the other side. So that way it stays symmetrical, right? Okay, now it's up to you what colors you use. You can use one color and you can always add a little bit of color to this. So see how I've done the orange, and what maybe I want to do is take some of this red and just do some little red dots, and you can see how it kind of expands in there. Experiment, explore, and have fun. All right, I'm going to keep painting mine. You keep painting yours, and we'll take a look at them when we're finished. Here is my finished symmetrical monster. You can see it's pretty abstract, but you can see it has eyes and hands and feet. This is an opportunity for you to just use those creative thinking skills and make this into something beautiful. Okay, let's check in with our favorite art assistant. Oh, Mimi, beautiful job as always. Okay, so here are two examples of this project, and you can see they're totally different. Just by using your name, you can create something totally original. All right, my little artists, I hope you learned something new today. I hope you had fun. I can't wait to see what your monsters look like, the shapes you created, the lines you used, all of the colors. I can't wait. So another awesome job today, and I will see you next time. Bye.